wars, these idiotic wars, if we just come to grips with freedom for farmers, around the world, we'd make a whole lot of progress.
Yeah, well, the point you raise about the Greens actually now being quite blasé, the communists, that was actually admitted by the Greenpeace founder, Patrick Moore, who resigned from Greenpeace partly in protest that the people who had now taken over the organisation were not really interested in environmental protection. They were more interested in advancing this communist feudalist agenda, which, as we have exposed vehemently over the past several years, is exclusively centred around eviscerating the middle class, imposing this post-industrial revolution and turning us back into serfs. So definitely, I mean, the modern environmentalist movement is nothing more than a watermelon. It's green on the outside, it's red on the inside, and these kind of control freaks will dress themselves in any political ideology that suits them at their present time to further their brutal and tyrannical agenda, and that's what we've seen with the Greens advancing this current green fascism. But thanks for your call, Ronnie. We're going to go to John in Ohio. John, what's on your mind today?
Yes, I've supported Alex Jones, though I'm on the left and against any claims that he was for violence and the rest of it. But I find at this point that what I see as a fascist element from the John Birch Society, this kind of red baiting, because I'm very familiar back in the 60s with the Bill Ayers faction of SDS. It was rabidly anti-communist. The communist faction within SDS, Progressive Labor Party, had the position that Ayers and these others were totally agent provocateurs, that they were trying to discredit the anti-war movement. The Progressive Labor Party was the communist faction within SDS. It agreed with you that this deindustrialization was really a front for this fake liberals within the movement. I found out that the John Birch Society, which is very influential with Alex Jones, specialized in these kinds of outrageous fabrications of so-called FBI agents that would scaremonger about the Russians and the Chinese and the Cubans invading the United States. Just fantastical nightmare type of fabrications that were actually run by Western Goals, which was connected with the John Birch Society and collaborated with police squads to frame up people around the country. Even J. Edgar Hoover, who was a specialist in this kind of smear job with his COINTELPRO, said these guys were absolutely discrediting his ability to discredit people because they were so far off the edge of the world. For you to quote this so-called FBI agent saying that Russia and China and Cuba were going to invade the country, even though there was a Russia-China split, I think really destroys your credibility and places you in the totally discredited corner of the John Birch Society, which I find too often influences Alex Jones, who I've supported, even though I disagree with his positions on eliminating programs.
Okay, thanks for the call. Yeah, I'll respond. Basically, what Grathwohl was saying in that clip was that he asked Bill Ayers and the Weather Underground what would replace the collapse of the American government if a vacuum was to exist. And he basically said that the Weather Underground didn't have any plan for the economic, the societal, the governmental restoration of a new government under their ideology. So that's why they said that they just let the Soviets or the Cubans or the Chinese come in. Now, I agree with your point that Ayers himself was never this big anti-establishment figure, which is why, in fact, he was hired and he became part of the political elite when he became an Illinois professor and this big educational establishment figure in America. So the elite certainly used Ayers for their own ends and to create this big idea of the Reds under the bed, which led to a lot of Americans giving up their rights and indeed was the start of this military-industrial complex movement in the 50s. Now, as I stated earlier in the show, I'm not saying that Ayers or the Weather Underground even plausibly would have been able to cause the collapse of America, which would lead to this communist invasion. I'm saying that that was their ideology, and the fact that Chris Matthews defends it while attacking grassroots Americans as political extremists is the height of hypocrisy. So it's not a question of whether Bill Ayers or the communist left-wingers at the time really intended to or had a chance of bringing in this communist revolution. It's the fact that Chris Matthews now gives them softball questions and basically doesn't even grill them on the fact that they supposedly wanted to bring Americans into re-education centers and kill them all. So, I mean, why he cannot demonize American citizens as violent radicals while giving aid and comfort to people like Bill Ayers. And it's a fact that Bill Ayers was influential in starting Barack Obama's political career. That's on the record. Thanks for the call. Now we're going to Larry in Louisiana. Larry, you are on the air.
Hi, Paul. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, good. They had a war in a place they call the colonies here, and against what they said was the crown. Now they teach the children, they call the American children, that they won this Revolutionary War. What do they teach the children in England, Britain, about who won that war?
I'll answer that after the break, Larry. We're coming up now on a break, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. This is the Alex Jones Show. We're going to squeeze in more of your calls after the break, so stay tuned.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
The question is, where should the American people draw their line in the sand?
What have we got? A republic or a monarchy?
A republic is based on a constitution which protects minority rights.
Not democracy, not mob rule, 2 wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner.
So they think they own our land, they think they own our water, children, our education, our money.
We have to define who we are and what we will tolerate.
Somebody's going to ask you what you did during the Patriot Uprising.
You have been warned.
We have the facts. We have the Constitution. We have the Bill of Rights. We have common law. Knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm so excited to be able to offer you Don't Tread on Me, Rise of the Republic. Tyranny is upon us, but liberty and the sleeping giant that is the American people is rising. A new tool in the info war. Don't Tread on Me. Order it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139 and support independent, patriotic Liberty films.
We all know that the Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 4 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water systems. The revolutionary Berkey light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and removes harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $209, and the Berkey Guy will include 3 Sport Berkey water bottles and ship everything to you free of charge. That's right, 3 Sport Berkey water bottles and free shipping, an $87 value, yours free, but only for a limited time. Just call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653 now to order. That's 1-877-886-3653 or order online now at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
Final segment of the first hour of the Alex Jones Show. This is Paul Joseph Watson sitting in for Alex. We had a caller before the break asking how the American Revolution was taught to British children in British schools. From my experience, the American Revolution is not taught up until high school. Certainly the courses I took at university, college level, there was no option to study the American Revolution. Basically, it's completely ignored. The reason I left university eventually was because they were teaching the fact that Lenin and Stalin were basically brilliant and that everything they did was saintly. So that was a good reason to leave. What concerns me, as is seen in Alex's video, The Road to Tyranny, is the fact that FEMA now teaches law enforcement personnel that the Founding Fathers were terrorists. And this ties into the Mayak report and how anyone who believes that the Constitution isn't being followed, as Chris Matthews also smears us, are violent radicals. So we're going to go to the next call now, which is Miguel in New York. You are on the air.
Hey. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, what's on your mind?
What is